I really wish more people talked about the fact that so many more people than you think are in credit card debt.
You know what I think the worst part about paying off credit card debt is that it takes literally like no effort to get into massive amounts of credit card debt. Like I barely felt it happening. But it takes massive amounts of effort to get out of that credit card debt.
Hey Mo Hawkins, you're asking me if I'm paying $3,000 a month in interest or $3,000 a month in minimum payments. My minimum payments this month is actually $7,543. Yay!
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about what's really going on with this credit card debt with consumers out in America. I'm talking about crazy amounts of credit card debt and Afterpay. People using Afterpay, using Karma to stay afloat.
Corey, how do you always look so bougie? How do you always look so nice when you're on a budget? Let me tell you my secret. Credit card debt, Afterpay, Klarna. Is it the most financially responsible? No, but that's okay because the debt will disappear someday. You can't convince me otherwise that credit card is not just like free cash. You're welcome.
So if you ever wondered why my savings account is basically empty and I have 5 figures of credit card debt, this is it right here. Ignore the noise. There's construction going on in my building, but this is absolutely disgusting. This is what 60 pairs of shoes look like. And shamefully, I think only like 5 of these pairs are under $300. Okay, let's say under 200. That one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Those are the only pairs that are under $200. Oh, and then my Birkenstocks back there too. Oh, and my Bass loafers right there. But everything else is over $200. Most of them are over $500. This is disgusting to me.
If you're in your 20s and you keep consistently seeing people and you like, oh my God, how are they doing all this? How are they affording all of this? Blah, blah, blah. And you're really confused and you're trying to figure it out, is really one of 2, maybe even 3 options. The first option is credit card debt. Maybe they swiping them cards. They swiping that card. They probably have $30,000 right now in credit card debt. But they're in Bora Bora. Absolutely.
Absolutely no surprise. People are literally living off of these credit cards to go ahead and just to pay for groceries. But now these people who are doing that just to try to survive, I understand. It's tough out here. But when you're literally going to Bora Bora for under a credit card with $30,000, you running up the debt. Man, this YOLO lifestyle of I don't know, like it's gonna end anyway, so I'm gonna enjoy myself. I have enough credit, I'm gonna keep running it up. So okay, so the top comment on here, it says it's Klarna and Afterpay. Absolutely, Afterpay is going crazy on here. When you can just throw it on Afterpay, Klarna, I'll pay it later. And then no, because $30,000 in credit card debt is terrifying. Y'all, how are y'all doing this? Yeah, it is crazy when you think about this. Last comment here. The last comment, my friend is $96,000 in credit card debt. I didn't even know that was possible. Yes, absolutely, it's possible. You can run up numbers. You can run up numbers real fast with this credit card stuff. Now, speaking of this Afterpay and Klarna and all these buy now, pay later stuff, you gotta be careful because this is a slippery slope. When you realize that, oh, no money, like for credit cards, no money's coming out of my account, so hey, I'm okay. I still got cash. I can keep spending. Or with Afterpay, I only got to pay a little bit of money here, and I can still go and they'll take out the rest of my next paycheck. Oh yeah, we up. So that's the dangers of this. Let's go ahead and watch.
Can we talk about how dangerous Afterpay is? Don't remember when I first discovered it, but I realized it's on like Aritzia, it's on Sephora, can't remember what else. It's on a lot of stuff though, like a lot of websites will be like, or for interest-free payments of this amount with Afterpay. My little monkey brain is like, it's basically like it's free. I'm girl mathing it is what I'm doing, if we're being honest. I bought a Dyson Airwrap and I bought it with Afterpay because like $800, but it was 4 interest-free payments of just under $200. So I was like, it's basically $200, which means it's basically free. I need to get it. And I do love it for that reason, because you just, you pay what you can now, and then you go to work and you pay your credit card and you pay some more. Like, it works. It actually is great. I love it. But the amount of shit I have bought that I should not have bought because of Afterpay is just wild. Like, I'll make like an $800 Sephora order, but it's Afterpay, so it's not really $800. It's like $200 4 times. So really, I'm saving money is what I'm doing. Anyway, Afterpay, I love you. Kind of wish I'd never discovered you, but also I don't mean that. I love you. I love you so much.
This is a real conversation that I had with one of my friends when I was in university about her credit card, and I still think about this once a week. I have to pay off my credit card. It's like $700 this month. That sucks. What do you mean your credit card bill is $700? Like I just bought all my textbooks and stuff, so I have to pay off my credit card. Like it's $700. My credit card bill has never been over $10. What? What? Yeah, like you only have to pay the $10. What do you mean it's only 10? What do you mean you're only paying $10? Like, every month you get the bill and you only have to pay $10. It doesn't matter how much you put on. It's literally, you just have to pay the $10. How long have you had this credit card for? Since first year? We're in our third year university. Do people not know that? Do people not know that? People of TikTok, people of the internet, just know, like, please just pay in full. Pay in full.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm in $9,999 of credit card debt. Here's what I ate today. For the record, to clear up any confusion, I have a grocery budget and an alcohol budget. It's not one or the other.
I really wish more people talked about the fact that so many more people than you think are in credit card debt. You're starting to look at people around you and wondering how the hell they're purchasing luxury cars, going on these lavish vacations, buying luxury items like sunglasses, designer purses, things like that. It's credit cards. They're in credit card debt. Especially the kids that you went to school with and they always had the newest iPhone, the newest clothing, even drove like a luxury car. Their parents are in credit card debt. I just feel like it's not talked about enough and no one is real about it. I consider myself to be a very independent woman. I have a good job. I make a decent living. I've always wondered how the people around me are doing these crazy, lavish, luxury, expensive things and wondering why I can't afford it as someone who also works very hard. It's credit card debt.
Hey Mo Hawkins, you're asking me if I'm paying $3,000 a month in interest or $3,000 a month in minimum payments. My minimum payments this month is actually $7,543. Yay! It won't be that next month. And $3,000 a month is what I pay in interest a month currently. That should be less next month because I'm paying off that payday loan, which that payday loan is $556 a month in interest. It's a very sad reality of my situation. And the truth is I haven't really wanted to face how much I was paying in interest. So instead of adding it up probably like I should have, I completely ignored it completely. Because I didn't want to deal with it. That's the God's honest truth. Because that's, when I did the math, $33,000 in 1 year in interest. And people are like, well, your interest is going to go down. Yeah, but I've been paying interest a really long time on this stuff, guys. And I think I'm going to actually go back and do kind of a series to educate people on the downfalls of these payday loans, and go back and show you guys how much in interest I've made, because actually doing that video helped me yesterday because it made me extremely mad at my situation. And that's where I'm at. Hope that answered your question. It's crazy, I know.
It's really unfortunate because a lot really does come with the credit card. And if you're not aware of this, oh man, you can get in a world of hurt about your minimum payments that you need to make, but as well as paying in full every month. There is a complete difference. If somebody's coming back from underwriting, credit card underwriting, mortgage loans, small loans, all PPP, auto loan, everything, I've underwritten all of it. And so the difference in these nuances are so critical. You can see a bill that says it's only $10 and, oh, okay, I'm good. And so I love this example because it's real. You got to make sure you're making off those full payments every month. You want to take care of your credit and you want to make sure, if you can, if you have the ability. Again, I know everyone's tapped right now, but if you have the ability, don't just make the minimum payments. You're paying so much in interest, so much money in interest.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
I don't know if people are ready to hear this, but Afterpay. If you can't afford to buy it now, you can't afford it. It's predatory. You know, it's really enticing when you want a $100 clothing item and you can't afford $100 outright, but you can afford to pay, you know, however many payments of $10 or $20. And, oh, suddenly you're like, well, you know, I can get another shirt that I do Afterpay and then pay $10 or $20 a month. And then you're just getting into debt. You're racking up all these little like purchases that are turning into thousands of dollars, it's predatory. Don't use Afterpay.
Bro, please stay out of debt as much as you can, dude, because I am drowning. I keep getting myself in these situations to the point I can't get myself out of it. I can, but I have to work 2 or 3 times harder just to get myself back afloat. So, backstory, I was in school and I lived on my credit cards. And so my mom, she helped me by paying them off in like full. So I'm like, good, bam. So now, fast forward to now, bro, I have got myself in the same position and I don't even know how. Like, I don't even know how I came about spending this money. I don't know where it's going. I'm looking at my credit cards like, what did I even spend this on? So now, because I like to invest my money. I want to invest my money. I want to put my money somewhere else, but I don't even have the luxury to do that because I got to work 2 or 3 times harder just to pay my credit cards off, then put my money to the side to invest. So now I'm going backwards rather than continuing to going forward. So it's just so frustrating, bro. And I'm just sitting here like pulling my hair out, stressing over it. Bro, I didn't even have to go through this. It just creeped up on me out of no fucking where. And I just like don't know. Bro, do anybody else know how to manage their money? Because I'm over here drowning. Drowning. And I'm trying to stay, bro, get myself up. And it's so frustrating, bro. So learn from me. Please stay out of credit card debt. If you have any recommendations for me, bro, please let me know because, yeah, boy, definitely is stressing over here.
You know what I think the worst part about paying off credit card debt is that it takes literally like no effort to get into massive amounts of credit card debt. Like I barely felt it happening. But it takes massive amounts of effort to get out of that credit card debt. Like it is exhausting. Like I have been busting it for this last year and it's working. Like I'm lucky. I'm paying my debt down. But it's just like sometimes you just want to chill. Sometimes I don't want to work an extra shift. Sometimes I don't want to think about money. It's just literally exhausting, and you think about it all the time. It's the worst part, especially because it takes no effort to get into it. So, I don't know. That's just my random thought for today.
You cannot budget your way out of not making enough money. It doesn't matter if you buy a new budgeting app. It doesn't matter if you research all these side hustles. It doesn't matter how many side hustles you have. If you don't have enough money, you cannot budget yourself into magically having more of it. I currently have $30,000 in credit card debt, and I am not throwing everything at that debt because I realized that the one thing that puts me into more debt is not having enough money. So I actually make sure that my spending account is full, my bills are paid, I have money for immediate savings, such as things that are coming up in the next 6 months to a year, and then I maybe make extra payments on my debt. If I don't do that, if I put all my extra money, all the lump sums, every little penny and nickel towards debt, first of all, I could end up being in debt again after paying that off. And that has happened to me multiple times. Debt is not, you don't pay it off and reach a finish line and then it never happens to you again. It's a cycle. But when I do that, when I throw all my money at debt, then I have no spending money to pay for the things I need to pay for. And then what happens? I use my credit cards and I get into more debt. That's right.
It's really unfortunate because we can really find ourselves in so much credit card debt or in debt fast, and it adds up so quick. So if you're in this cycle of trying to pay it off, to use that money to maybe put in investments or save, just have an emergency fund, it's like, man, now you got to work 2-3 times harder just to pay off that card that you're using. So that's what I mean with the slippery slope with debt. You can get it racked up really fast looking at these grocery prices, looking at this cost of living, looking at things that you're just using the card for on everyday bills. It's like, man, I don't know how, but it is important for us to be manageable and for us to be aware of it. We got to start budgeting now, because if we don't budget now, imagine what it's going to be here in a couple years. Especially the same tendencies and track records that we're on, you don't want to find yourself on the other end and not having a credit card to rely on.
How I got myself $23,000 into credit card debt. I started dating a guy when I was around 12 or 13, and I dated him throughout middle school, high school, and into my early 20s. I'm not going to get into the super juicy details of this relationship, but just know that it was mentally, physically, emotionally abusive. And I am so, so grateful to be out of that relationship now. But I did make some bad financial decisions whenever I broke that relationship off 3 years ago. When I was in that relationship, I was controlled a lot and I wasn't able to hang out with my friends. I wasn't able to travel. I wasn't really able to do anything. And that kind of led into my spending problem whenever I left that relationship. So I broke it off. I started doing solo trips out the wazoo. I was doing solo trip after solo trip, and guess what? I didn't have any money. I was working as a teller in a bank. I still work in a bank, but I've since moved up positions. But I was working as a teller, so I wasn't making much. And so in turn, I was putting it all on my credit cards because I wanted to have these experiences that I felt like I had lost out on. Does that make sense? I pretty much did the same thing over and over and over and over again. I went on so many trips. I fell in love with national parks and hiking. And eventually I found myself $23,000 into credit card debt. And now I'm on a mission to pay that off as quickly as I possibly can. I know what it feels like to feel like you're drowning in your credit card debt, your minimum payments, and a lot of the times if you have high credit card debt like I do, the interest rates are just eating up any monthly payments that you make. It sucks that I put myself in that situation, and if you're in that situation, all you can do is get yourself out. And if you only have one stream of income, like your full-time job, I highly recommend getting a second stream of income, which is what I did. The digital marketing is what I did for my second stream of income, and I am so happy I did.
How do I, 27 female, tell my husband, 29 male, of 3 years that I've racked up $20,000 in credit card debt?
Just like that. Just like that.
Wait, let me read the whole thing.
Just tell him I've racked up $22,000 in credit card debt.
My husband and I have been together for 7 years, married for 3. We split all house finances. We own our home, but we have separate checking accounts, savings accounts, credit cards, etc. He manages his money very well. I do not. He never keeps a rotating balance on his credit card. I have maxed out my Discover card at 12.5K, but I have a 1.6K balance on an Amex. And I took out a personal loan of about 7.5K to cover previous debts.
Okay. See, me.
It's gotten to the point where I'm tired of hiding this from him, and I'm scared of my future. I have a decent job, and I've recently got another part-time job a few months ago to help pay down my debt. It just feels like I'm drowning. How do I tell him?
This one was definitely an interesting video that I had to get a reaction to, which I want to get your comments down below. What would you do if your significant other told you that they had $20,000 of credit card debt that they were hiding from you? I'm talking about your wife, your husband, or even your girlfriend, boyfriend, y'all, your house commune, your household that you're using your funds with, and they tell you that they're in $20,000 in debt. How are you going to react? Let me know your thoughts down below. I definitely want to hear them. And let's go ahead and hop into the next video.
I saw this video of this girl balancing her her budget from her job, and I think like her pay, like her salary is like $75,000. In the video, she said that she her statement for her credit card was like $2,100, and at the end of her balancing out her whole like spreadsheet, she was in negative $200 for the next 2 weeks. Let me just say this. I love that she made that video and that she woke that up, because a lot of people be wondering how people be affording all these designer things, yada, yada, yada. A lot of them are just simply swiping that fucking credit card. A lot of people are literally just living in fucking debt. Big debts. Like, when she said her ending balance was $2,000, I think her limit said like $9,000. That's not even the smallest credit card debt I've seen on people that I personally fucking know. Like, so many people are not only living paycheck to paycheck, baby, they are living credit card statement to credit card statement. And it's literally just a cycle, because after they pay off that statement and they're at like negative $200 for the week, guess what they then have to turn around and do? You betcha. They have to use that fucking credit card. Don't let them have multiple credit cards, baby. We're talking about thousands and thousands of debt. And you know, the other piece of it is that there probably are some scammers out here, or some people who really do have making over 100,000 our tech girls who we love, and you know, the doctors and the nurses, yada, yada, yada. But a lot of people are just consumed by credit card debt, and it's just a cycle of credit card debt and bad spending habits. Now, I don't know what it looks like if it's a scammer, but I will say if they can't have a Cash App account or they're using Cash App as their bank account, it's probably a scam.
Okay, I wanted to answer this question about how I got into $15,000 worth of credit card debt because I've been getting it a lot. I feel like some people are going to be like, this is basic knowledge, but to me, it wasn't basic knowledge, which is why I wish someone drilled this into my brain and I actually listened. The first is I had zero financial literacy at all. My family never talked about money. I come from a super poor single mom family and money just wasn't ever talked about because we had none of it. And I never took any classes in high school that taught you about finances. I don't even know if there were any. The next is that I always considered my available credit as money that I could spend or money that I had. I distinctly remember buying like a laptop and furniture because I was like, oh, I don't have the money on my debit card, but I have it on my credit card so I can spend it. Which looking back is ridiculous, but back then it felt like free money. I always only paid the minimum payments on my credit cards. Whether it was like $100 or $25, I was like, okay, as long as I do that, I'm fine. When it really clicked for me was when my financial advisor told me that if I continued paying $150 on each card, it would take me 9 years and $17,000 worth of pure interest to pay it off. It would cost me $17,000. But if I increased my payments to $350 and $450, it would take me 1 year and it would only cost me $3,000 in interest, which is so much of a difference. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to get my shit together. Another is that I always increased my credit card limits when I was offered it, which is basically just a big trick because they know you're gonna fuck up. So I'd increase the limit, spend all the way up until that new limit, and then I just maxed out more money. And the last one is I just swiped carelessly. I never cared what I spent it on. I just always spent money on it because to me, it was just money that I had, even though it was not money I had. I can't believe I'm even admitting this stuff because looking back, it feels so dumb. Even to my financial advisor, I was so embarrassed to tell him this. And I'm absolutely certain that some of the reactions I'm going to get are not going to be kind, but I think there needs to be way more financial transparency around people who don't know shit about money like me. I'm 25 years old, I work a corporate job, and I'm working on paying down my debt. I've got the $15,000 down to $11,000, and I'm working really hard on getting it down to $0. So if any of this aligns with you, or you feel like you need to get your shit together in any way, I'm documenting my whole journey, super vulnerable, so be sure to follow along.
I don't think that it's worth living to just pay a credit card. I should be able to do a little stuff here and there.
Do you think the only reason you're living is to pay off the credit card? I want you to attack it now, so by the time you're 35, you never have to pay a credit card again. So you f***ing around for a month because, ooh, it's my birthday month. Woo! You're extending this situation for years and years to come. You're preventing yourself from getting out of it. You're preventing yourself from ever having enough saved up for retirement so that you can survive, so you're not working in your 80s in order to afford rent because you never saved up enough money to put a down payment on a house. And who knows what Social Security is going to be like when we retire. We can't rely on that. People can barely rely on it now.
Honestly, you guys just got to be careful out here. Keep your head on a swivel when it comes to this debt stuff and what's going on in this economy, and that you're not falling victim and you're not falling into these traps, because there's a lot of predatory practices when it comes to credit, and that you definitely do want to be aware of. But we're going to go ahead and end it right here. Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Please subscribe. And now if you do want to go ahead and watch the next section of this video, we're talking about, of course, living in the home in your late 20s. Go ahead and click here. If you do want to go ahead and watch the full, all of this entire video, go ahead and click here. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll catch you on in the next video.